Meanwhile, we often bring you stories involving being inside court hearings and trials where adults are facing trial, but the juvenile justice system is typically behind closed doors. KX News' Guy Gregory spoke with two attorneys who are part of a working group helping to push for reformation of North Dakota's juvenile justice system.
Competency is anytime you're charged with a crime, or in juvenile court, if you're alleged to have committed delinquent conduct, you're entitled to due process, and that due process is found within both the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the state of North Dakota.
Prosecutors and defense lawyers have presented the changes they would like to see in reforming the state's juvenile justice system. One major issue is juvenile competency, which means if they're charged with a crime, are they fit to stand trial? In order to meet that standard, the defendant must have an understanding of what's going on and the ability to consult with their attorney, who then can assist them in their defense.
On the competency bill and the remediation bill, defense and the prosecution are really on the same side on this of we want treatment remediation services for juveniles. And right now that's something that really doesn't exist.
Steiner was joined by Travis Fink, who's the executive director of the North Dakota Commission on Legal Counsel. They both told the committee that a lack of mediation services in the state for juveniles hampers their ability to work with their attorneys to defend their cases.
There's nowhere where we can send a child right now within the state of North Dakota to get those services in order to help them defend against the case. So what we end up with is those cases being dismissed and the child really left to their own devices sometimes.
Right now, Fink says a child can be evaluated to see if they're fit or not fit to stand trial. But he says there are no mental health treatment services that would help them to understand their rights should they have to go to court.
So what we end up with is this gap. And what do we do with those kids in this gap?
And Fink says those children are left at a greater disadvantage in adequately defending themselves in court.
When the attorney goes and visits with them, they don't understand the charges. They aren't able to really have that conversation with their attorney as to legal terms to understand the system in which they're supposed to help defend themselves.
So Fink says what ends up happening is the attorney then brings a motion to the court arguing that due process requires they need to be able to help them defend their case and that the child has a thorough understanding of their legal rights.
Maybe these kids didn't have counsel before and they were just admitting to their actions without understanding what they were doing.
Fink and Steiner both hope new legislation will provide the services that children may need to help them better understand their rights, so they can work with their attorneys in helping them to better prepare their defense should they be charged with a crime. Reporting for KX News, I'm Guy Gregory.
The North Dakota State Legislature's Juvenile Justice Committee is now considering legislation that would potentially reform the state's juvenile justice system, and members of that committee are working on a bill that could come before the state session this winter to be voted on.